All right, so it's Damien from Marketing Food Online. So in this video, which I will upload also to our podcast, we are going to cover a great couple of questions I've got here on my desk. Is can you sell prepackaged food? Can you actually buy food that's already made and then resell it if you start out a small business that way? And the answer is yes. And we are going to dive into 10 factors that you need to take into consideration before you start to sell your prepackaged food. And we're going to do that right now. All right, so welcome back. It is Damien, as always, from Marketing Food Online. So I hope you guys are having a great day today. And in this video, I'm actually covering a couple more of your subscriber questions, which have been coming in like crazy, and I appreciate that. We love to answer your questions and help you guys get your food businesses up and running. As always, Marketing Food Online, we are a YouTube premier food entrepreneur channel. We have over 1,000 videos to cover all varieties of food entrepreneurship. I'm actually a food entrepreneur myself. I've been doing this for over 12 years. I have a fantastic wife that I operate 6 e-commerce food businesses with. So I created a podcast, a YouTube channel, and a whole bunch of resources on our website, marketingfoodonline.com. And a whole bunch of free, absolutely free resources to help you get your food business started. So I'm here in my office. I've actually got a couple of questions here that we printed up from you guys off of our YouTube channel. And of course, as you see, I've got my mic up and running, so we will upload this on our podcast. There are links down in the description as well for all of those podcast outlets that we are on. We've got, I think it's about a dozen different outlets that we're on right now. So check us out on our podcast. So next up is the first question. So can I resell food products from home? But if I can I sell prepackaged food products? So these are two fantastic questions because there's a lot of food entrepreneurs who don't necessarily bake or make any type of food product, but they enjoy food or they want to create a food business online, which I highly recommend, by the way. No matter what type of e-commerce business you're doing, food is becoming one of the fastest growing sectors of e-commerce. I should know because for the past 12 years, I've seen the growth. And with what happened in 2020, a lot of food is actually now being just simply delivered to people's homes with a couple clicks on the mouse. So I've got 10 steps, 10 specific things you need to take into consideration if you're going to do this type of a business. So the first thing up is figure out what kind of food business you want to start. Specifically, what type of niche of food are you looking to sell? Now, Damien, can I create like a store that's got a variety of different things? Yes, you can. But to be honest with you, what I would recommend you do is to pick one in particular, and then from there you can grow your inventory and you can create additional products with that. I say something like to the effect of like if it happens to be a gluten-free product line, if it happens to be a low sugar, low carb, high protein products, figure out what specific line of products you want to start with and then grow from there. Why? Because a lot of these products, believe it or not, and this may sound odd, a lot of grocery stores all throughout the country don't necessarily carry a huge variety of these specialty foods. That makes your e-commerce business, if you go into gluten-free, for instance, or sugar-free or low carb, those products people will pay a premium for because they need them for dietary purposes, and they will pay that certain amount for those products. Now, in order to do that, you might want to test it out a little bit and find out which one you want to sell because of based on who you're going to get them from, your supplier. So once you find that niche, stick with it. Google some information about all the different varieties of products in that specific category. If it's gluten-free, there is gluten-free breads, pastas, cookies, crackers. There's products for kids, products for moms, products for dads, all kinds of products specifically geared towards gluten-free items. So those would be a huge list of items that you could sell on your website, or if it's eBay or Etsy or wherever it may be. Okay, so number one, find out specifically the type that you can do. Number two, where to sell from. Now, this is the quick one of the quick questions that we had in the opening about can I resell food products from home online? Now, if you're not making them, you would not fall under the cottage food law. Believe it or not, in some states, you have to check with the city and county on this particularly because it varies. But in some cities and counties within certain states, you can resell food products online from home, depending upon the zoning. You want to find out about your zoning issues. You want to find out if you have a homeowners association. If you have a homeowners association, you need to let them know that you're going to operate a business because believe it or not, they can levy fines and different types of things on you if you happen to create a business that they don't know about. Number three, you want to make sure that you have the right permits and the business licenses and even certificates if it's required from the city and county in order to do this. And yes, believe it or not, some states and cities and counties will allow you to do this type of business. So check specifically with them and find out what you would need in order to do that. But Find out where you're going to do. Number 2 is that. Find out if you're going to be in home or you're going to be in a commercial facility. Now, if you're going into a commercial facility and you're reselling prepackaged foods, you may not have to have inspections from the health department, but you may have to have it from the Department of Agriculture. If you're not in actual food service, like a restaurant, cafe, or you're making the product and selling it, that would probably fall under the Department of Agriculture, I would guarantee you, okay? They're going to inspect facilities that handle, process, or ship food products. So check out within your city the local satellite office, as they're known, for the Department of Agriculture, meaning every state has specific offices by the Department of Agriculture set up for those types of inspections and possible certifications or licensing or permitting. So find out for that for sure. If you're going to get a commercial facility, then you need to be incorporated. You need to have a bunch of legalities, and I'm going to get into that in the part of the list in a second. But find out whether you're going to do it from home and then get the information you need, or a commercial facility if you're simply going to be purchasing bulk foods and then bringing it in and warehousing it, okay? There's a lot of different regulations come into play when you begin to do that, and you want to make sure that you follow commercial regulations in regards to reselling food since you're not making it, okay? So number 3, LLC or incorporation. So obviously, if you're going to operate a business, you need to be a incorporated business. You can do an S Corp, a C Corp, or an LLC. Of course, those are the 3 varieties that I usually talk a lot about. Of course, sole proprietorships and such, there's a lot of different variations that go with that. But an LLC is what I started when I started my commercial bakery and candy business, and that has worked out best for us. Now, we have evolved for tax purposes and other reasons. We've been around for quite some time now, so we've gone from an LLC to an S Corp, and that has been more beneficial for us. But if you're just starting out, an LLC is definitely something that's super simple to create, very easy to maintain, and I recommend that, of course, and you can definitely look into it for your own, do your own research, of course, but create your LLC, okay? Number 4. Food business insurance. Yes, even for resellers, even if you are reselling prepackaged food, whether it's to retailers or even online in e-commerce business, if you're reselling food, even though you don't make it, you do need to have some food business insurance. So check out food business insurance for that particular type of product and business model, okay? Because again, it varies, the policies and such. I'm not obviously an insurance agent, so I'm not going to tell you specifics about your policy, but getting a policy for specifically reselling food is definitely a must. I highly recommend you do that, okay? Number 5, so permits, licenses, and any certificates that you may need. I touched a little bit on this a little bit while ago, but definitely on number 5, you want to make sure that you check into all the permits needed, even when you're in a commercial facility. You obviously need to have a business license. You need to have any permits that they may need from the local city or county based on the zoning of that commercial facility as well. And if you're doing it from home, same thing goes. Find out specifically what they require and get them. Normally, these types of permits and licenses and such don't cost a lot of money, anywhere from about $100 to maybe a couple $100 a year. Plus, remember, permits, licenses, and certificates are normally issued on an annual basis. So you need to renew them and stay on top of that every single year. So that's an annual expense as well. So you want to make sure you have enough money to renew those permits, because if you don't, then you're out of business. Number 6, FDA registration. Yes, I get this question actually a lot on other videos, is about where does the FDA come into play with this? Now, the FDA has guidance based upon what they expect from food handlers, food manufacturers, food processors, or food distributors, okay? So any facility that does storage of food, shipping of food, manufacturing of food, anything that does with logistics or the storing or warehousing of food products, that facility needs to be registered with the FDA. They need to know that you are obviously making food and selling it or shipping it or whatever it is that you're actually doing. You might want to check out the FDA website for more specifics on that, but you need to have that facility registered with them because they want to know where that product's coming from. For, God forbid, someone eats some of your products and it gets sick from it, then they need to know where's that food coming from so we can go to that facility, we can find out what's going on, what's causing this. So it's for really safety issues, also for the food chain where people are expecting to have safe food when they even though you're buying it and reselling it, obviously you're not opening the packaging. They want to make sure that you have a product and you're handling it correctly and everything else, okay? Number 7. Now, this is obviously not a fun and glamorous part of it, but the taxes. Yes, you need to get an EIN. Number 7 is an EIN. That is an employer identification number. That's actually a number that's specifically given and issued to you. If it's Damien's Food Distribution, well, they need to know where and who you are, because then comes the tax reasons. They can be able to catalog you and understand that they can find out where your taxes are coming from or where the revenue is coming from that they're going to tax you on. So an employer identification is a specific ID number for your business. So number 8, you need to find where you're going to order your supplies from. Number 8 is your suppliers. You need to make sure that you can get these food products in bulk. Now, if you're going to the store and buying them at a retail store, then trying to resell them, your margins are going to be horrible, because the retailer is obviously purchasing it from a manufacturer or even a food distributor, and that is where they're getting it from at a cheap price. You need to be getting it the same way from those distributors, and you are the retailer, because you don't want to go buy something at the store then resell it. Now, can you do that with products and some? Sure you could, but the margins are not going to be very good, because you've already got a store that's marking up the product. You want to get it in bulk. You want to get it at wholesale. That's where you're going to make your money. So down the road, if you're buying in, you have a supplier where you can get it very inexpensively, that's going to be where your e-commerce business is going to make you your margins and your profit. Okay? Next up, number 9 is multiple websites. If you're going to run an e-commerce food business or any e-commerce business, I highly recommend, more specifically food obviously, is that you operate on multiple platforms. It could be Walmart, it could be eBay, it could be Amazon, it could be Shopify, it could be WooCommerce, it could be BigCommerce, and so on and so on. Even if you create your own website, that's great, but don't rely solely upon your own website. You will not make money. Trust me. I have 6 e-commerce businesses for a reason. I do not rely on one source at all. Even on Etsy, believe it or not, you can even resell food. Why? Because you can categorize it as an ingredient or even a supply. Yes, you can sell flour in bulk if you're able to. If you want to sell sugar, baked goods and baked supplies, you can do that, because you have to categorize it as a supply and you can resell it. I sell tons of different nuts and dried fruits and items on there as baking supplies, because people use nuts in walnut banana muffins. You obviously use walnuts. You can use that as a supply. So believe it or not, you can do that. But again, rely on more than one source of information, or more than one source of outlet for your e-commerce business, and multiple websites, okay? Now, next up, number 10, a business bank account. You need to have a business bank account set up specifically for your business, and I recommend this in a lot of the videos that I do, is that you make sure you separate your own personal information and personal banking from the actual business account and such, and that just makes it better for tax purposes and makes it easier to understand where money comes in and goes out. So have a business account set up. Now, these are the 10 outlines for you to start and resell prepackaged food, whether it be from home or resell prepackaged food online. Remember, this is just a snapshot. This is not an all-inclusive list. There's a bunch that goes on with running a business like this, but these are 10 factors that are ultra important and super, super important for you to understand before you even get started. So, as always, if this video was helpful, please do give me a big thumbs up. And if you already started a food e-commerce business, let me know down in the description. That would be great. Comments and such are fantastic, and that's great because other subscribers can definitely look at your information and your experience. Excuse me. And we'll see you guys on our next video. Thanks for watching Marketing Food Online. And if you are looking to create your own food truck, start a home-based food business under the cottage food law, franchise a food operation, start a packaged food business, private label your own food product, sell on Amazon, get your own online store, or sell food online, remember to subscribe and check out these videos for more resources. Take care.